This is Chapter 5, Increasing Life, from The Science of Getting Rich, a noted integrated edition. You must get rid of the last vestige of the old idea that there is a deity whose will it is you should be poor, or whose purpose may be served by keeping you in poverty. The intelligent substance which is all and in all, and which lives in all and lives in you, is consciously living substance. Being consciously living substance, it must have the nature and inherent desire of every living intelligence for increase of life. Every living thing must continually seek for the enlargement of its life, because life in mere active living must increase itself. And we have a contemplation box. As humans, we grow through our experiences. Seeing and feeling new things literally leads to growth of new brain cells in the area of the brain that interprets the stimulus. Riches are what allows you to reduce stress and increase experiences, which increase what you can comprehend. As you comprehend more, you can create more and earn more. So, it says that, um, riches reduces stress. So, by, that line of thinking, being poor or in poverty would cause stress. And some of that is just, not knowing where, your next meal might come from, not knowing, um, if you'll have reliable shelter, if you'll have um, presentable clothes or whether they'll be torn and dirty. Just, little things like that can cause stress by not having enough, not by not increasing life. A seed dropped in the ground springs into activity, and in the act of living produces 100 more seeds. Life, by living, multiplies itself. It is forever becoming more. It must do so if it continues to be at all. Intelligence is under the same necessity for continuous increase. Every thought we think makes it necessary for us to think another thought. Consciously is Consciousness is continuously expanding. Every fact we learn leads us to learning of another fact. Knowledge is continually increasing. Every talent we cultivate brings to mind the desire to cultivate another talent. We are subject to the urge of life, seeking expression, which ever desires us to know more, to do more, and be more. In order to know more, do more, and be more, we must have more. We must have things to use, for we learn and do and become only by using things. We must get rich so that we can live more. The desire for riches is simply the capacity for larger life seeking fulfillment. Every desire is the effort of an unexpressed possibility to come into action. It is power seeking to manifest which causes desire. That which makes you want more money is the same as that which makes the plant grow. It is life, seeking fuller expression. The, the one living substance must be subject to this inherent law of all life. It is permeated with the desire to live more, that is why it is under the necessity of creating things. The one substance desires to live more in you, hence it wants you to have all the things you can use. It is the desire of God that you should get rich. He wants you to get rich because he can express himself better through you if you have plenty of things to use in giving him expression. He can live more in you if you have unlimited command of the means of life. And we have a reflection box. People sometimes think of a monk or a religious leader as someone who counters this idea because they typically don't work in the traditional sense or have money. However, they do focus on keeping the temples or buildings in order and delivering their services through education and healing. In reality, they are in a space of much abundance. Everything that they need is provided by the community. Their home, their food, any travels are all paid by the community, leaving them free to focus their mind on other things. The universe desires us to have everything you want to have. Nature is friendly to your plans. Everything is naturally for you. Make up your mind that this is true. And then we have a read out loud box. It is essential, however, that your purpose should harmonize with the purpose that is in all. You must want real life, not mere pleasure of sensual gratification. Life is a performance of function, and the individual really lives only when he performs every function, physical, mental, and spiritual, of which he is capable, without excess in any. You do not want to get rich in order to live swanishly for the gratification of animal desires. That is not life. But the performance of every physical function is part of life, and no one lives completely who desires the impulses as a body and normal and healthful expression. You do not want to get rich solely to enjoy mental pleasures, to get knowledge, to gratify ambition, to outshine others, to be famous. All these are legitimate part of life, but the man who lives for the pleasure of the intellect alone will only have a partial life, and he will never be satisfied with his lot. And we have another reflection box. Modern society looks up to those in the spotlight: actors, musicians, athletes, etc. This is a very small percentage of the wealth in the world. They often have swift careers, and unless they learn these principles, they can be in for a rocky road. You don't need to reach for the limelight to attain the riches you seek. You do not want to get rich solely for the good of others, to lose yourself for the salvation of mankind, to experience the joy of philanthropy and sacrifice. The joy of the soul are only a part of life, and they are no better or nobler than any other part. You want to get rich in order that you may eat, drink, and be merry when it is time to do these things, in order that you may surround yourself with beautiful things, see distant lands, feed your mind, and develop your intellect, in order that you may love men and do kind things, and be able to play a good part in helping the world to find truth. But remember, the extreme altruism is no better and no nobler than extreme selfishness. Both are mistakes. And then we have the works box. Have you ever heard someone say the best way to help someone is to help yourself first? If a friend or family member had a medical emergency and insurance wouldn't cover the cost, helping them won't make much sense unless you're a doctor. But if you have helped yourself and have created abundant wealth, then you're in a position of power to truly help. Get rid of the idea God wants you to sacrifice yourself for others, and that you can secure His favor by doing so. God requires nothing of the kind. What He wants is that you should make the most of yourself, for yourself, and for others. And you can help others more by making the most of yourself than in any other way. You can make the most of yourself only by getting rich. So it is right and praiseworthy that you should give your first and best thought to the work of acquiring wealth. Remember, however, that the desire of substance is for all, and its movements must be for the life to all. It cannot be made to work for less life to any, because it is equally in all seeking riches in life. Intelligent substance will make things for you, but it will not take things away from someone else and give them to you. You must get rid of the thought of competition. You are to create, not compete, for what is already created. You do not have to take anything from anyone. You do not have to drive sharp bargains. You do not have to cheat or take advantage. You do not need to let any man work for you for less than he earns. You do not have to covet the poverty of others or to look at it with wishful eyes. No man has anything of which you can not have the like, and that without taking what he has away from him. You are to become a creator, not a competitor. You are going to get what you want, but in such a way that when you get it, every other man will have more than he has now. Then we have a reflection box. Think about it this way. 100 years ago, Earth had a population of 1/4 what it is today, and yet the world now is still sustaining us. Now, of course, there are some issues of hunger and poverty, but we are supporting many more people than we ever had before. In fact, if you look up something called the elephant graph, you will see that while the rich are getting richer, the poor are also getting richer. I am aware there are men who get a vast amount of money by proceeding in direct opposition to the statements in the paragraph above, and may add a word of explanation here. Men of the plutocratic type who become very rich do so sometimes purely by the extraordinary ability of the plane of competition, and sometimes they unconsciously relate themselves to substance and great purpose and movements for the general racial upbuilding through industry evolution. Rockefeller, Carnegie, Morgan, et al. Have been the unconscious agents of the supreme and the necessary work of the systemizing and organizing productive industry, and in the end their work will contribute immensely towards increased life for all. Their day is nearly over. They have organized production and will soon be succeeded by the agents of the multitude, who will organize the machinery of distribution. The multimillionaires are like monster reptiles of the prehistoric eras. They play a necessary part in the evolutionary process, but the same power which produced them will dispose of them. And it is well to bear in mind that they have never been really rich. The record of their private lives of most of this class will show that they have really been the most abject and wretched of the poor. Riches secured on the competitive plane are never satisfactory and permanent. They are yours today and another's tomorrow. Remember, if you are to become rich in a scientific and certain way, you must rise entirely out of the competitive thought. You must never think for a moment that supply is limited. Just as soon as you begin to think that all the money is being cornered and controlled by bankers and others, and that you must exert yourself to get laws passed to stop this process, and so on. In that moment, you drop into competitive mind, and your power to cause creation is gone for the time being. And what is worse, you will probably arrest the creative movements you have already instituted. Know that there are countless millions of dollars worth of gold in the mountains of the earth, not yet brought to light. And know that if there were not, more would be created from the thinking substance to supply your needs. Know that the money you need will come, even if it's necessary for 1,000 men to be led to the discovery of new gold mines tomorrow. And there's a read out loud box. Never look at the visible supply. Look always at limitless riches and formless substance, and know that they are coming to you as fast as you can receive and use them. Nobody, by cornering the visible supply, can prevent you from getting what is yours. So never allow yourself to think for an instant that all the best building spots will be taken before you get ready to build your house, unless you hurry. Never worry about the trust and combines and get anxious for fear they will soon come to own the whole earth. Never get afraid that you will lose what you want because some other person beats you to it. They cannot possibly happen. You are not seeking anything that is possessed by anybody else. You are causing what you want to be created from formless substance. And the supply is without limits. Stick to formulated statements. And we have a read out loud box. There is this thinking stuff which all things are made, and its original state permeates, penetrates, and fills the inner space of the universe. A thought in this substance produces the things that is imagined by thought. Man can form things in his thought, and by impressing his thought upon formless substance, can cause the thing he thinks about to be created. Then at the end of the chapter is the exercise. Whatever the trouble I am faced with, there is an equal and opposite solution. What are some times of struggle in my life that I didn't think I could get out of? How did I manage to transcend the hardships? What did I learn from it? So hopefully you found some value in Chapter 5, Increasing Life from the Science of Getting Rich. So watch out for some more videos, and as I finish some of these chapters from the book, I might do more from the study guide, but really the study guide wants you to complete the book to then be able to go further in the study guide, because basically you're supposed to like absorb some of the information and then keep going back to study the science of getting rich by using the study guide. So if you haven't seen my previous readings of the science of getting rich, go back and check some of them out to get some of the information you missed. Thanks and have a good day.